here we go. We got it. Recording's done, Miss Deidre. I did good today. Save your questions. If you're watching on Zoom, save your questions to put in the Q&A box. You're welcome to comment either on Facebook or on Zoom. You can make all of your comments as we go. But if you have questions, we're going to get to those at the end. So save those for either the Q&A section, or if you're watching on Facebook, you can, oh, it didn't stream. It did not stream. Okay, that didn't work. That's okay. I don't think we're going to stream to Facebook. If you have specific questions, put them in the Q&A box. So I am so honored that you're here. This topic is probably one of the most important things that I feel like I have worked on in my own personal life. It's one of the most important things that I feel like I can share and teach with other people. So I'm very glad you're here. I'm going to share my screen with you so I can show you. We have some slides today, so I'm going to share my screen with you so I can show you those. And there we go. Okay, so this class is called If Mama Ain't Happy, 7 Essentials for Your Best Summer Yet. But mainly, what I want to talk about is how you can take back your power and manage your emotions. I think so many times we feel like emotions they're just unpredictable. They don't really matter. It's just feelings. So, it's not that important. But here's what I want you to know about emotions. This is really, really crucial, you guys. Everything you see in your life in front of you is a result of your emotions. Your emotional life is responsible for every action you take in your life. You feed your kids, you be kind to your husband, you yell at your boss, you write that book, you start a new exercise program, everything you do is fueled by your emotional life. So it's really, really important. Your life is a result of the action you take because of your emotions. So the way it works in the human body and the human mind is you think a thought, that thought generates a feeling, and that feeling generates the actions you take in your life. So if you look around today at your life and you don't love what you see, that's a result of your emotions. That's a result of living your life from emotions that you don't want to live your life from. And we're going to talk today about how to generate the emotions that you want, but most of us don't even realize we can do that. Most of us are just reacting to life, and whatever emotions come up, we're not sure where they came from. We just are reacting. And we want to step back, to kind of take a step back from our lives and be able to have some awareness about what we're thinking and how we're feeling and how those feelings are generating our lives. I think it's so sad that in our society where we're taught about so many things, there's information about everything. Nobody teaches us how to become emotional adults. Nobody teaches us how to take responsibility for our feelings, for our thoughts, how to take our thoughts captive, how to generate the emotions that we want, somebody mentioned earlier, how to not get their feelings hurt. We have not been equipped with those tools of how to be emotional adults. And what we're going to talk about today, I promise you, will give you the tools you need to start taking back control of the most powerful thing you have. Your emotions are literally your superpower. Now, how many of you that kind of surprises you? You're like, are they really that important? They're really that important. They are responsible for the actions you take. They are responsible for the life that you look around and find yourself in. Your emotions have generated the actions that have created your life. And if you don't like what you see when you look around, you have the power to change that. And one of the most interesting things about that is you have the power to generate whatever emotions you want. You don't have to be, the victim of emotions that you don't like. You have the power to generate them. And so I'm going to share some tools with you today. I'm going to share some nutritional strategies, some hormone stuff. We're going to talk a little bit about gut health. We're going to talk about some supplements and oils. We're going to cover the gamut So hold on to your seatbelts. This is going to be a fast class. I'm super excited that you're here. So let's talk about emotions. Emotions are vibrations, okay? So we do everything in the world not to feel an emotion. We'll do anything. We'll overeat, we'll overspend, we'll spend too much time scrolling Facebook and Instagram. We'll do so many things not to feel our feelings. Not feeling our feelings is the cause of so much of our angst. So much of it. And the reason we're so scared to feel our feelings is because we don't understand them. And the key to learning how to manage your emotions is to be willing to experience your emotions. And they're just vibrations in your body. They're not going to hurt you. They're just vibrations. And when we get to the point where we're not scared of our emotions, we're not running from them, we're not hiding them, we're not suppressing them, we're not over-medicating them, we're not running from them in all kinds of ways, we're not eating them, we're not drinking them. When we get to the point where we can just be willing to say, I am willing to feel my feelings. I'm willing to feel what I feel. So much of life can get easier, simpler, better when we just can learn how to feel them. Emotions are vibrations in your body. They're temporary. So think about, one of the worst feelings that you can feel. Even those emotions are temporary. They're fleeting. They come and they go. It kind of comes like a wave and washes over us, and then it's gone. Emotions are vibrations. They're not scary. And we have got to learn how to feel them without being afraid of them, without suppressing them. It's really, really, really important for us to do that. And it's not that hard to do. It's just that we haven't been taught, first of all, the power of them. And we haven't been taught one other important thing, which I love to help people understand, is that negative emotions are okay. We do not like to feel negative emotions. I want you to think about the last negative emotion you felt. Just any one that you can think of. You were frustrated. You felt rejected. You were angry. You were disappointed. In the chat box, tell me some of the most recent negative emotions that you have felt. Now, let me tell you something magical about negative emotions. Just the negative emotion itself of anger. Let's say, okay, it's summertime. Let's say you lost your temper with your kids, okay? So that's a negative emotion. You feel frustrated, you feel angry, and then you yell or, you do something you don't like, you wish you hadn't reacted that way. That's the negative emotion. But what we do on top of that is we heap all kinds of judgment on that and say, I shouldn't have felt that way. I shouldn't have overreacted. I shouldn't have whatever. And then we beat ourselves up for being human. And then that negative emotion on top of the negative emotion makes it way worse than it would have been if we just had the negative emotion and it was fleeting and it left. And the more patient you become with yourself in this area, the actual less negative emotions you'll have. What makes it worse is heaping on top of it judgment that you shouldn't have negative emotion. We're human. We're going to feel bad, frustrated, sad, disappointed, rejected. All of those negative feelings, we're going to feel them, and we're going to feel them quite a bit. And I think part of the lie that we've been fed in our culture is that we should just be happy all the time. And the guilt that we have about not feeling happy, or we look at other people. How many of you have looked at other people and went, there must be something wrong with me? Like, that person never seems to have negative emotion. Like, that person never seems to be in a bad mood. That person never seems to whatever. And it makes us feel like, well, I must be the weirdo, or there must be something wrong with me because, here I'm experiencing this negative emotion. And even that judgment on your emotions is just heaping more negativity on it. Just let be what is. Just let it be what it is. And learning how to do that, learning to just sit with the vibration. The other thing that I think will help you in this area is just to describe for yourself what it feels like. What does it feel like in your body to be disappointed? What does it feel like in your body to be angry? Just try to like step out of your body a little bit and observe yourself. And what does it feel like? Is it a scary thing, or can I handle a little bit of anger? Can I handle, am I willing to feel a little bit of frustration or anger or disappointment or fear or whatever? And learning to open your arms, open your hands, and just welcome what comes your way, first of all, makes it so much easier to deal with. Because here's what happens. Instead of doing that, what we do is we suppress, avoid, run from, numb, suppress. And all of those emotions then get to live in our bodies. So those unprocessed, undealt with emotions, kind of in a way, the science is proving this over and over, basically can just take up residence in your body until you decide that you're going to deal with it. We know this to be the case for people who've been on medication that suppresses their emotion for a long time. So if you're taking medication that suppresses your emotion, when you come off that emotion, guess what? You get to spend the next month or 2 months feeling all the stuff you didn't feel for the past 2 years or 5 years or whatever. So learning to let it wash over you, be curious about it, welcome it, sit with it, be willing to ask yourself questions about it. Why do I feel this way? And what does it actually feel like in my body? It's not that scary to feel this, actually. And it's so much healthier if we can learn to do that, to welcome it, allow it, process it, feel it, whatever you want to say, instead of just always trying to numb it, hide it, push it away, run from it, medicate it, whatever. I would love to know your favorite way to not feel your emotions, because we're all a little bit different. We'll all choose a different pathway. Maybe you choose snacking. Maybe you choose over-exercising. Maybe you choose scrolling, social media. Maybe you choose something that's even worse for your body or whatever, some kind of addiction. But I want you to think of all the things that you do to not feel your feelings, and what's your favorite? Like, what's your go-to favorite when you don't want to feel your feelings? Now, when we think about emotions as energy, this is the good news. This is very powerful. Emotions are the energy of your life. Emotions are what fuel you to get up in the morning and go to the gym, to take care of your babies, to go to work, to provide for your family, to, clean your house so that your people have a clean place to be and live. What fuels your action is emotion. So emotions are vibrations, but emotions are also energy. And I want you to think about your life, and I want you to think about, am I learning how to manage my emotions enough to generate the ones I want? So we just talked about the ones that you feel a lot. I feel sad a lot. I feel depressed. I feel disappointed. I feel rejected. We talked about the negative ones. Now I want you to change gears a little bit. And maybe in the chat box you can tell me, what do you want to feel? What emotion do you want to fuel your life? What emotion makes you, when you can generate and feel that emotion, what emotion do you feel like, oh, I love feeling this way, because when I feel this way, I take this action, and I get this result in my life. I want you to think about what you want to feel, maybe instead of what you feel. But I want you to think about the emotions that you can teach yourself how to generate. If you could just pick any emotion just out of the air, and you could have that emotion, a lot of the time, you're still going to have negative emotions. But if you could pick one, what would you pick? What emotion fuels you and makes you feel like yourself, or makes you feel the best that you can feel? We're going to talk some more about how to generate the ones you want, but I want you to think of emotions as energy. We can learn to master our emotional lives and generate the emotions we want that will give us the life we want. That is pretty powerful, friends. Okay, your emotions are your humanity. This is what helps us be compassionate and kind and loving. Emotions are our humanity. And learning to be good stewards of our emotional life, learning to be emotional adults, learning to use the emotions, the emotional life that we have been given to really serve and bless other people. This is huge when it comes to emotions, and it's really, really important. I think that we underestimate how much emotions give us the results that we have in our life. And when we learn to take our power back, which mostly involves taking responsibility for our relationships and for our emotional life, fully letting it rest on us. This is my responsibility. I'm in charge. I have to be the emotional adult here. I have to stop blaming everybody else for the way I feel, for my outbursts. Let me just tell you, your kids did not make you upset and yell at them today. Your kids did something that kids probably always do, and you then had a choice. How do I want to think about this? How do I want to feel here? What result do I want to have in my life from this? And we have to learn to pause between that little few seconds that we have to react. We think we don't have a choice sometimes. How many of you have reacted emotionally in the last week and you felt like it was automatic? You felt like, I didn't really have a choice. Your kids did something, you yelled. Your husband said something, you got your feelings hurt. And you feel like it's automatic. You feel like, no, there's no way that that's my thoughts and my emotions. But I can promise you, and I hope by the end of this, you will see, you're choosing to be upset. You're choosing to be offended. You're choosing to have your feelings hurt. You're choosing to be rejected. You're choosing that with your own thoughts. And then your emotions respond to those thoughts. And that is all your choice. So I know sometimes it feels like, no, you don't understand. He really made me angry. No, he said something and you thought a thought and felt a feeling that made you angry. Because otherwise, think about it. Let's just say that your husband said something that, made you angry. Maybe he said, you never, what could he say? You don't keep the house clean, something like that, right? Now, a perfect stranger could say, you don't keep your house clean, and that wouldn't affect you at all. So the sentence, you don't keep the house clean, is not what makes you angry. You have a thought about that sentence, and you think to yourself, well, who is he to say that? And you have all these thoughts that you generate, and then the feelings that come from that, and then you react to it. So in between the space of that, you have all the power. In between the space of that, you have all the power to react however you want. And we abdicate that responsibility because we blame our circumstances, we blame our relationships, we blame the fact that our car broke down, we blame the fact that our mother-in-law is impossible, we blame every single thing we can blame. And the truth of the matter is, you are always in charge of your thoughts and your emotions toward other people, always. And the good news about that is that's the only way you can change it. So if you are willing to take the full mantle of responsibility for your own emotional life, if you are willing to be an emotional adult and take full responsibility for all your thoughts and all your emotions and all your actions, then we have somewhere to start from. That is a powerful, powerful place. You take all your power back when you are willing to say, this relationship is my responsibility. How I feel about my spouse and how I feel and react toward my children is all on me. It's not how they act or what they do or what they didn't do or how they didn't do this or it's always all within our power to respond how we choose. Now, sometimes you might choose to be angry, and that's fine. But I want you in those moments to realize you're choosing anger. Nobody's making you angry. When I was first learning all of these tools several years ago, one of the things that I loved is that we teach kids, like, don't do that. You're going to hurt such and such's feelings. Or don't do that. It hurts mommy when you do that or whatever. We teach kids that, which is really wrong, because we all, each individually, have all the power to think and feel how we want. We get to choose that. Our thoughts are what cause our emotions, and taking captive of our thoughts and taking a bit of a pause between the interaction between two people will make you realize, like, I have every power to choose how I want to react to this. I don't have to get angry. I don't have to overreact. I don't have to be disappointed. I don't have to feel rejected. I can choose to feel that. And as you learn and practice how to do this, you guys, this will make you so much stronger emotionally. It will make you so that it's so hard to offend you. I'm telling you, I've been doing this work in my own life for the better part of 10 years. It's so hard to offend me now, because in order for you to offend me, I have to agree. I have to agree to be offended. I have to agree with your thought, and I have to let that hurt my feelings and make me offended. You got to work really hard to make me offended, because I have practiced for so long taking back control of my own thoughts and emotions that it's really, really, really hard to hurt my feelings. Now, there are so many areas of your life that this could be so powerful in. Think about your workplace. Think about your workplace and the times that you've thought to yourself, this place drives me crazy. These people drive me crazy. I can't stand working here anymore. You know, when you say those kind of statements, who that is an indictment on? It's not your workplace, and it's not your coworkers. It's you. Because that means that you haven't taken control of your own thoughts and emotions. You get to decide, no matter where you work, no matter the people you're surrounded by, you get to show up there however you want. And your experience of any circumstance is how you decide to think and feel about it. Do you see how powerful that is? So if you take somebody who's emotionally an adult, who has emotional intelligence, who's learned to manage their thoughts and emotions, who's learned to generate the emotions in their life that they want, you could put them anywhere and they have the same experience. That is power. Those are your superpowers that you need to take back. You have let people that you don't even care about control your life, control your thoughts and emotions. You just let them do whatever at will they want to do to you. And you have abdicated your own responsibility and your own power by letting them have the power over you. And I want you to see that when you do that, so let me just make one more point, that it's not just your thoughts that you're doing that with. When you do that, when you decide that you're going to hold resentment towards somebody, let's take resentment. Resentment has its own cocktail of chemicals. When you decide to feel angry and resentful, your brain knows what kind of chemicals to make so that it can match the inside of your body with your brain. So you start to feel resentful, right? You feel it in your body. If you stopped and thought about it, you're like, oh yeah, I feel kind of tight in my chest and my throat feels kind of hot or whatever. You start to feel it in your body. The reason you feel it in your body is because your brain is so smart and it's matching your internal environment with what you've decided to think and feel. So let me ask you this. When you get really, really angry at somebody, who gets to be poisoned by that anger? Whose body squirts out a bunch of chemicals that match that anger? Not the person you're mad at. You get to be poisoned by that anger. You get to feel that rejection. You get to feel what that actually feels like in your body. You get to live with that fear. You get to live with that bitterness. You get to be poisoned by a little cocktail of juices that your brain squirts out in order to match your internal environment with what you've told your brain you want to think and feel. That, my friends, is very powerful. So, do you want to feel angry and bitter? Do you want to constantly feel resentful, disappointed, frustrated? You probably don't. You probably don't want to poison your own body with all those stress hormones and all of those chemicals that your body is going to create in order to say, oh, okay, brain, you want to be angry? I'll match that. I've got a cocktail that will match that so that you'll feel angry. And then those feelings, of course, then generate our actions. So when I decide that I'm going to, resent my husband for something that he said, I get to feel it, like actually feel it in my body. I get to squirt out chemicals that match that anger and resentment. He doesn't feel it. And then the action that I take towards him is what? If I feel angry? Well, I'm probably going to withdraw, or I'm going to lash out, react back with anger. And here's the other thing that I think is so powerful when you realize that your thoughts cause your emotions. Here's what's so powerful. Often the way we react, we're basically doing the same thing to them. So he does something that causes separation between the two of us. If I don't pause there and decide how I want to think and feel, the way I would just generally react is to do exactly the same thing. Do you see how that's not really emotional adulthood? Do you see that that's kind of childish, and that not only is it not making the connection better in our relationship, it's poisoning the inside of your body. So this pause that we can take between our own reaction to things that happen in our life is so powerful. Your thoughts are causing your emotions, and your brain is matching your inner body with what you've decided to think and feel. So if you decide you want to be angry, resentful, and feel that way, your body will match it for you. And you get to be the one who feels poisoned by it. That, my friends, is no way to live. And if you've decided that you're in relationships that you want to stay in, the goal is always reconciliation. You might have disagreement and you might fight. The goal is always reconciliation. So my goal is always, let's just get there faster. Can we just skip the part where I overreact back to you, and maybe I could just let that all go and respond with love and forgiveness and kindness, partly for you, but partly for me, because I want to feel that way. That's how I want to show up. I'm not sure how my kids want to show up in relationship to me. I'm not sure how my husband wants to show up, but I know how I want to show up. I want to show up with love and grace and joy and forgiveness and the benefit of the doubt, letting things go, not holding grudges. That's how I want to show up. And I get the choice to do that no matter how anybody else shows up. Do you see how powerful it is when you take that back? When you take responsibility? Because in a relationship, it's fine that two people are in a relationship, but my experience of the relationship is only in my head. It's only how I want to think and feel about the relationship. I remember when I went through a hard time in my marriage, I just decided that I was going to feel and think loving thoughts. I was going to think loving thoughts and feel loving feelings as much of the time as possible. Do you know how powerful that is in a relationship when somebody decides to do that? And you might say to me, well, why does it always have to be me? That's what I said too. I was like, why does it always have to be me? Why do I have to be the one to be the adult to, whatever? Well, you're the one listening to the class today. So it has to be you. You're the one who has to be willing to say, I'm going to take this responsibility on because I can. And because now I know, now I have some tools to know the power that I have to generate and manage and channel the emotions that I want to channel to create the life I want. Now, does this happen overnight? No, it doesn't. You have to practice it and practice it and practice it and practice it. It's like anything else that you do new. You're so used to reacting the way you react that the first time you're not going to realize that you still overreacted until it's over. And you're going to go, oh, I did it again. I just let myself react. I didn't pause and decide, how do I want to think about that? How do I want to feel about that? Then the next time maybe right before it happens, you'll think, oh, I have a chance here. I have a chance here to do something different. I have a chance here to be an emotional adult. I have a chance here to use my emotional intelligence to direct this interaction however I want. And that, my friends, is power. Okay, let's talk about some statistics, because as a physician, I'm super interested in medications that mess with emotions. So over the last, 30 years, antidepressant use has skyrocketed among people my age. This is one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about teaching about it, because I feel like what we want is just some quick fix. We just want a pill. Just give me a pill, make it better. We went through this period of time when I was practicing medicine where these were called happy pills. Just give me a happy pill. Well, let me tell you something startling about this class of medications. First of all, if you're on them, no shame. I've been on them. Everybody I know has been on them. No shame whatsoever. I just want you to be informed about how they work. The statistics are startling in that 25 to 30% of women my age take them. What happens to women who take this class of medications over a long period of time is they become indifferent, meaning instead of a happy pill, it's like an apathy pill. Like, well, you just don't care. That's okay for a short period of time if you're going through something really traumatic. I took antidepressants after my house fire. It helped for a little while, but what I noticed after a while is that I just lost my passion for life. I lost the best part of who I am. I lost the lover and fighter in me. I just lost the best part of me. And it happens with a lot of women. And so instead of having your emotional life be like this, which is what it should be, good things happen, bad things happen. We have positive emotion and negative emotion. We have to learn how to feel both. Instead of doing that, antidepressants do this. You feel nothing. So most women gain a lot of weight with antidepressants. How do they feel about that? They don't care about that. Most women lose their sex drive with antidepressants. How do they feel about that? They tend to not care. Most women have other side effects from taking the medication over a long period of time, but we lose the ability to care. And what I would like to suggest to you, that the ability to care about your life is what makes you human. That's why I don't think that overall, in the long run, for most people, this is a great option. We want to have the ability to care. We want to have the ability to pause ourselves in the middle of these interactions and do the hard work that's required to be emotional adults, to have the emotional intelligence to generate the emotions we want in our life. The rise of this medication does not surprise me. We live with more stress than we have ever lived with, you guys. If you look at stress-related medical problems in our country, it is through the roof. People are more stressed out than ever before, and we do need help. We need tools like the things that we're talking about today, how to manage your thoughts, how to manage your emotions, how to think something differently so that you can feel something differently. When I was going through issues, with one of my kids, I remember thinking it's so easy to get in a negative thought pattern. Well, this child is this way, and she always does this, or he always does this. And I would just retrain my thoughts about this child. I would say the things that are true, but that were positive about the child. And it started to change my own heart. And that is powerful. And you lose the ability to do that if you're kind of numbed out. And that's what a lot of coping mechanisms do for us in the modern world. And it's not just antidepressants. It's our overeating. How many of us raise your virtual hand if you had a hard day and you come home and say, well, I just need a glass of wine, or I just need some chocolate, or I just need whatever. We so don't want to feel our emotions that we will do anything. We will take a pill, we will eat something, we will drink something, we will damage our health, we will scroll through Facebook, we will get addicted to even things like pornography. We'll do anything not to feel our feelings. And this class of drugs is no different. It's just another way not to feel your feelings. Well, let me tell you something that I have noticed over the past 5 years of teaching these concepts to the people in my group. What I have noticed is this. I have helped hundreds of women get off antidepressants. And let me tell you where those emotions go that you have buried, that you have numbed, that you have run from, that you've been afraid of. they stay. And you still have to deal with them. It's like cleaning out a dirty closet. It's all in there. And as soon as you get off that medication, they're just going to start coming to the surface. But here's what I will tell you. That's way better than leaving those vibrations in your body. The changes that those negative vibrations can cause, leaving that in your body can be so detrimental to your health, can cause so many health problems. So it's so much better to just let it out. Feel what you feel. I promise you, I remember when I first started going through this when I was writing my book about really terrible memories, I thought to myself, I'm not going to make it. Like, I'm not going to be able to go back to all that horrible stuff and feel those things and make it. I just won't make it. And you know what? I made it because they're just vibrations. And you learn that it's mostly, here's the thing about the stuff in your past. You're not having pain because of your past. You're having pain because of what you're currently thinking about your past. And what I decided to do is I decided to go treasure hunting in my past. And instead of looking for everything negative and every time I was hurt or abused or neglected or left out or not cared for, I started treasure hunting and looking for all the ways that I was loved and treasured and adored and chosen. And you will begin to see what you look for. So if you decide to look for those things in your life, you will find them all over the place. And that ability is so powerful. That ability to choose what you want to focus on, no matter what your circumstances, no matter what your past, no matter what is going on in your life, you get to choose what you want to think about it and how you want to see it. And from those new thoughts, you can generate any emotion you want. We don't have to numb it. We don't have to run from it. We can feel it. So let's talk about some ways to do that. So number one, we're going into summer. Your kids are all coming home. How many of you are scared to death? This is my first summer to have a little kid at home, and I'm scared to death, you guys. But here's the thing. I can go into the summer thinking, oh my gosh, this is going to be terrible. How am I going to deal with a rambunctious 6-year-old who won't listen? You know, all the things that we can be thinking about our kids and about our lives. Or maybe you're working full time and you have guilt about that, and you are going into the summer with all of this guilt and all of this pressure on yourself. Here's what I'm telling you. You have a choice as to how you want to think and feel going into this summer, okay? And I want you to pick it. Don't let it pick you. You set the intention. You decide how you want to go into this summer, how you want to think every day, how you want to get up and feel every day. You pick. Instead of letting it pick you and just reacting to your life, you decide. And when you set the intention, it doesn't mean you're not going to have bad days. You're going to have bad days, obviously. But you're just going to remember, oh, wait, this was the intention that I set. This is how I want to show up in my life this summer, whether I'm home with a bunch of kids, whether I'm working, whatever I'm doing. This is how I want to show up in my life. And I'm going to keep coming back to that and keep remembering that. Yes, there's going to be hard times and bad days, but we're not going to heap on that even more misery than needs to be. We're not going to heap on more guilt. We're not going to heap on, when you have a frustrating day with your kids, just let it be that. Just let it be a frustrating day instead of heaping on guilt that maybe you're not the mom you should be because you had a frustrating day. Set your intention for how you want to be, and then be gracious with yourself when the outcome is not exactly like you wanted. Number 2, manage your emotions. You have all the power and you've been giving it away. You've been giving it away to 2-year-olds and babies and adults and coworkers and spouses and mother-in-laws. You've given your power away. Take back your superpower. This is the fuel for your life. This is the energy that gives you the life you either want or don't want. And if it's a life that you don't like living in, change it. You have the power to change it by changing your thoughts. You want to change your marriage? You don't need to change your husband. You need to change you. You need to change your thoughts and your emotions. Generate the emotion that you want. Show up as the person you want. You can't change them anyways. You might say, well, Dr. Edie, I surely wish they could come and watch this webinar. Well, maybe you'll share this webinar with them, but right now you're the one listening. So you're the one with all the power, and you're the one with the emotional intelligence. You're the one that can be trusted to take this on, to do this hard work. You are so capable of this. You are so capable of hard things. And once you learn how to manage this, you guys, anything can happen to you in your life, and you just go, I know how to handle this because I know how to feel any emotion. I'm not afraid to feel disappointed. I'm not afraid to feel rejected. Heck, sometimes I reject myself. I'm not afraid to be disappointed. I'm not afraid to feel afraid. Do you see what I'm saying? Take your power back by being willing to feel your emotions and then learning how to generate more of the ones that you want. Well, let's talk about this. Oh my gosh. This could be a whole class in and of itself, but part of what I wanted to mention here is that your limbic system is where the seat of your emotions is. All the stuff that I've talked about for the last 30 minutes takes time. It's hard work. You have to decide that you want better for yourself and your family. And you got to be willing to do the hard work that it takes to take back your emotional power. But let me tell you a quick little shortcut that I found about 4.5 years ago. There is nothing on this earth that works quicker to relieve stress and balance your emotions like oils. Nothing. And I studied the science of how they work on emotions. It's incredible. I'm sitting here right now huffing my diffuser with some peace and calming, which I'll tell you about in a second. The essential oils have a powerful, powerful effect on your emotional system. That's the reason why when you smell something like, chocolate chip cookies or cherry pie, it takes you back to like usually some kind of powerful memory or something like that. The reason why it's so powerful is because when you smell, your smell is tied to the limbic system of your brain, to your amygdala. That's where your emotions, your memories are there. That's why it often triggers memories. That's where your hormones are released. So it's a very powerful place. And essential oils, more than anything else on earth, have access to this magical place in your brain. That's why God, when he created the earth, he wasn't stingy with them. Everywhere you go outside, I'm looking outside my office, there are trees and shrubs and flowers everywhere. And they just come off the trees and shrubs and flowers and begin to do the amazing work of healing us from the inside out. They are very powerful at emotions. One of the easiest things that you can do to reduce your stress, balance your emotions, give yourself time to make that pause. We talked about taking that pause between how you react to things. Nothing quite rewires your brain like oils. So if you've never used them, and if this was the only reason you decided you want to use them, I promise you, you will thank yourself later. Everybody who I know who uses them will say, gosh, I'm just nicer. This is like the nice pill. I won't call it the happy pill. It kind of is, but it's like the stress reliever pill, but it's not a pill that instantly works faster than anything I've ever seen. They have a powerful, powerful effect on your emotions. Now, in the starter kit, hold on just a second. I'm going to grab my kit. The starter kit has a bunch of oils that are really good for emotions. I'm going to talk about some specific emotional oils, but our regular starter kit is right here. And these are some of the oils that are in there that, y'all, I seriously can't even imagine living without. Hold on one second. The emotions, the oils that come in the starter kit are so incredible. Sorry, you guys, having power issues. The emotions that come in the starter kit are so powerful. Right before this started, I took 2 or 3 drops of frankincense. I rubbed it in my palm, and I just inhaled 3 or 4 times. So grounding, instantly stress relieving. Another one of my favorite oils is Valor. It's in the starter kit. So good for courage. It's one of the ones that I use for Thomas all of the time. So emotionally grounding. Of course, lavender is very calming, good for sleep. Peace and calming, unbelievable. That's what I've been diffusing today. One of my favorite oils. All of the citrus oils are powerful for emotions. And then we have one in the starter kit called Stress Away. Who needs a gallon tub of that as we head into summer? So even just in our starter kit, even if you don't count, I have a bunch of other supplements and oils here that are amazing for emotions. But even if you just had the starter kit, you have a powerhouse of emotional support. And this will give you, it will be enough of a rewiring in your brain that it will give you a chance to pause and say, is this how I want to think? Is this how I want to react? It's so, so powerful. There's another kit. I'm not going to go through every oil in it, but it's called the Feelings Kit. If you are trying to come off something that's been numbing your emotions, if you really, really struggle in the emotional area, this kit is life-changing. It has oils, forgiveness, harmony, inner child, present time, release oil. Oh my gosh, I use this release oil all the time. So that kit is incredible. So if you need a little more help than just, some starter kit oils, the Feelings Kit is incredible. Yes, inspire a positive state. Let me say a couple more things about the physical part of emotions. Now, let me say this. I'm featuring 2 products here that I take every day that have helped me so much with my emotions. One is called Life9. The reason why is this. Life9 is a probiotic. If you have poor gut health, your gut is where you generate your serotonin. 90% of your serotonin is generated in your gut. So if you have poor digestion, IBS, just a lot of stomach issues, I often say this, if you can't digest your food, you're not digesting your emotions. They're so inextricably tied to each other. I'll say that again. If you can't digest your food, you can't digest your emotions. So if you have a lot of trouble with digestion, you've got to fix that, because that means that your body is not producing enough serotonin to help you feel normal. Serotonin is sort of the feel-good chemical molecule in your body. And if you're not producing enough of it, you just don't feel yourself. You're short-tempered. It's hard for you to take that pause in your reaction. And Life9 has made a tremendous difference in my life. It's a probiotic that will help restore your gut health so that you have enough serotonin that your body can do what it needs to. The other thing that's super helpful for women and mood and emotions is Super B. Super B is a complex of B vitamins. B vitamins are so crucial for emotional health. So if you're not taking a B supplement, those 2 supplements I swear by for my emotions. The other thing that comes in your starter kit that you get 2 samples of is Ningxia Red. This is a super juice drink. So incredible for energy. And remember, I said emotions are energy. So if you're having trouble feeling fatigued all the time, there's a high chance that part of that is an emotional response. And we can fix that physically by increasing our energy, increasing our antioxidants, getting our gut health better, improving our B vitamins. We can do that physically and just help our body have enough reserve so that we can react how we want. The other thing I wanted to mention here is nutrition. Nutrition is so important, you guys. Well, I think I'm coming up on that. Hold on. Oh, here's the Ningxia Red. I drink 2 ounces of this a day. Incredible to support healthy mood and emotions. So good for energy. Also helps you sleep well. Now that I mentioned sleep, let me say, rest and relaxation is so important. We have got to get our regular amount of sleep in order to have the bandwidth to respond how we want to emotionally. If you're sleep deprived and you're chronically under-rested and underslept, you are not going to be able to respond how you want. You're not going to have enough bandwidth to do what you want. In the starter kit, you get several oils that can help with sleep. You get Peace and Calming and Stress Away, Valor, lavender. Those are all incredible oils that help with sleep. I've never found anything outside of oils that help as much restore the natural balance of sleep. So if you're not getting the sleep you need, please make this a priority and realize how important it is for your emotional health. Feed yourself well. So let me say a couple of things about nutrition. Number 1, eat real whole food. Real whole food has the micronutrients you need to give you the building blocks for all of these feel-good hormones, okay? If you're not feeding your body what it needs to make progesterone, to make testosterone, to make estrogen, to make cortisol, to make pregnenolone, to make serotonin, if you're not giving yourself the building blocks to do that, you're going to be chronically deprived of those molecules that your body needs in order to respond well. So feeding yourself well. The reason I show you Ningxia Red in this picture is because Ningxia Red, even if you have poor gut health, will give you a huge infusion of nutrition that's like whole foods nutrition. It's not just a juice, it's a puree, has the highest antioxidant count of any food supplement in the world. Combine that with a good diet that's well-rounded, real whole foods, and you will begin to heal your body from the inside out. You will begin to restore your hormone balance. The second thing I want to say is avoiding sugar. Sugar is so inflammatory and so damaging. The other thing that sugar does is it spikes your insulin and makes you kind of feel hangry off and on all day, and nobody can respond well to screaming kids if you're hangry. So really controlling your insulin response and lowering your sugar so that you're not all day doing like this with your insulin level will help so much. The other thing that's helpful is healthy fat. You need healthy fat in order to make your hormones. So many women who struggle with emotions, number one, have issues with gut health, which we just talked about. Number two, have issues with hormones. If your hormones are not balanced, you're going to have a really hard time managing your emotions. There's a few things that I want to mention with this, but the most important is that you get good, healthy fats. All of your hormones are made of fat. So be careful if you're on a cholesterol drug. Go do your research about that. Your body needs cholesterol. Cholesterol is a healing molecule. Your body needs healthy fat. The molecules in your brain are made of fat. All your hormones are made of fat. So make sure you're getting plenty of healthy fats in order to make the hormones you need, especially for women. If your female hormones are out of whack, you are going to have a hard time managing your emotions. Two of the things that I use every day that help me so much, this is called Progessence Plus. Progessence Plus is, and I'm going to send out an email that have some of these that I mentioned so you don't have to take notes furiously. Progessence Plus is a progesterone serum. Progesterone is the hormone that makes you feel loving and kind. It makes you feel nurturing toward your children. It makes you attracted to your husband. It's the hormone that makes you female. I call it like Mother Teresa. It makes you like Mother Teresa, only slightly naughty. I'd say all women over 30, especially women over 35, need this hormone oil. It is incredible. Even if your body, even if you have enough hormones, what happens in our modern world is that so many toxic chemicals look like female hormones that they block up your female hormone receptors. And even if you go have your blood drawn, they'll say half the time, oh, you have enough hormone. But the problem is a lot of the toxins in our cleaning products and in our makeup and in our lotions, they're blocking up your female hormone receptors so that your body's hormone can't get there. One of the most powerful things that oils do in general is that they clear out those receptor sites. They have a living vibration which causes your body's receptors to release toxins. And when those toxins are released, then your own body's hormones and anything that you're using externally can get to those receptor sites and bind. So my favorite one to start with for hormone balance is Progessence Plus. My second favorite one is called Lady Sclerol. I love using a few drops of this on my lower abdomen every day. It gives you some natural estrogen-like activity, whereas this one gives you some natural progesterone activity. Those two oils, life-changing. Really, this whole regimen that I just went over with you, life-changing for me. Back in 2013, before I started all this, I was 35 pounds overweight, miserable, couldn't sleep, depressed, anxious, so many negative things, just locked down with negative emotion, locked down with terrible memories that I had a hard time processing. And I'm telling you, this has been true freedom for me, and not the kind of, pseudo freedom that might come from taking something that continually suppresses your emotions, but actually being able to get to the point where you're flowing, where you can feel your emotion, they can come in, they can go out. That is a powerful free place to be when you can know that you can feel any feeling, you know that you can manage your emotions, you know that you can generate the emotions you want. The other thing that I want to say about this is, especially this time of year, guys, go outside. We need the healing that comes with going outside. We need the vitamin D. We need the oils. There's natural oils out there that are coming off the trees and shrubs. We need this so much. In our society that's so relegated to the indoors, we don't live outside like we used to. Our kids don't live outside like they used to, and it's not good for us. We are made to move. We're made to be active. We're made to be outside a lot of the time. I think they say that the average American these days stays indoors 93% of the time, and I'm telling you, this is not good for us. My little Tom-Tom, of course, I don't know if this video can play for y'all. Let's see if it will. You need my help?
Just a minute. I just don't want to. If I go down there on that fence, I can get probably bust on me.
I don't think it will. Here, let me help you.
No, I'm good. I did it when I came up.
Little precious Tom-Tom, he's going to force me outside way more this summer. But get outside. Get your kids outside. They need to be out and play. They need to learn what it's like to be in the dirt, to play in the water, all the things that are out there that are so important. And enjoy your people. And as you get better at these tools, you guys, you will enjoy your people so much more. Listen, this little 6-year-old he is a firecracker. A serious firecracker. And what I have had to coach myself and continually teach myself how to do is just let a lot of it go, because letting a lot of it go will kind of reinforce the good behavior that I want, just loving on him, realizing he's been through a lot. Just let things go. Just enjoy your people. Be curious about them. Be curious about, oh, that was interesting that we had that disagreement. Wonder why. Like, slower to anger, quicker to forgive, quicker to give people the benefit of the doubt. Just enjoy your people. And the more you utilize these tools, the more you take responsibility for your own thoughts and emotions, the easier this will be to do. And lastly, live your purpose. One of the reasons that we don't really stop buffering, stop running, stop hiding, stop numbing is because we're not living our purpose. We're not doing what we're called to do in our lives. We're staying numb. We're staying numb sometimes with medication. We're staying numb with all the ways that we don't want to feel our feelings. I promise you that this will make you come alive. Being willing to feel what you feel, being willing to generate the emotions that you want to live the life you're called to live. So important. And it doesn't mean that you have to totally change your career or totally change everything. It just means that open your eyes and see what's right in front of you. See that what God has called you to do is to minister to the people right in front of you. This person who's hard, who's in your life right now, this is exactly where you're supposed to be. This is exactly what you're supposed to be doing. You just need eyes to see it. For those of you who have not yet grabbed your kit and are interested in getting some of the products that we talked about, I would first of all make sure that you get a starter kit. Now, from today till the end of May, Young Living is giving you a free thieves cleaner. Now, this will replace all of the toxic cleaners in your house. You'll also get a free glass bottle to go along with your thieves cleaner, and you'll take a cap full of this, mix it in your new free spray bottle, and there you have replaced all your toxic cleaners. So remember how we talked about those toxic molecules are lodging themselves into your receptor sites? No more. We're going to have a diffuser in the house with our starter kit instead of candles and room sprays everywhere, and we're going to have thieves cleaner. The other thing that I wanted to say is that you get these 11 oils. There's something in here for everything. A group of people of mine that are in my oils group last night had a class called the first aid class, and they used their starter kit to basically make an all-natural first aid kit. I promise you, almost anything you can think of, there's something in this kit for it. It's literally the best investment I've ever made. You get all the stuff you see here, plus the free thieves cleaner and the free glass bottle. The other thing that I'm doing until the end of May to celebrate my 11th year in social media is giving you $25 back. So we do that via PayPal or Amazon or Venmo or product credit, however you want it. So grab your starter kit today. In order to do that, if I invited you to the class, you go to ediewadsworth.com to sign up. If somebody else invited you, just go find them and get their number. The other thing that I will say is that you get access to my private Facebook group. So I do teaching in there all the time. We talk about hormones and gut health and toxin-free living and babies and emotions, everything that you can think about. We have classes there all the time. You get access to that. Plus, if you want to join a private Marco Polo group with me, you're welcome to do that, where I will just go on video with you, however it works out, a few times a day or whatever, and teach you how to use your kit. And the other thing that you get is my Essential Oils from a Doctor's Perspective course. So that's a 10-video course. You get that for free. So all of that you get with your starter kit. Now, I promise you, the starter kit's incredible. But the benefit of all this stuff, having a mentor to walk, blessing to you as you the emotional life that you want, so beneficial. My emotions are wacky now, perimenopausal. Oh, honey, do I agree. You need these two oils for sure. So I don't know if you already use Progessence Plus. So you need Progessence Plus and Lady Sclerol. And then if you're having a really hard time, you might consider going to get your blood work taken and see if you need any other kind of supplementation. There's a lot of other things. We have a supplement that I take sometimes called Femigen. We also have a supplement called PD 8020 that I have taken off and on. So there are other things to help you, but if those two oils aren't helping, I would probably consider getting some blood work. Clary Sage, where does this fit in the hormones and oils necessary or not? Great question, Doreen. This oil has Clary Sage in it. So it's been enough for me, but as you get past menopause, a lot of women will use straight Clary Sage, even and this, or just Clary Sage as sort of an estrogen-like booster. So you're already getting some Clary Sage if you're taking this, but Clary Sage in and of itself is great too, especially as you get menopausal. All righty. Anybody else have any questions? This has been super fun, you guys. I'm just looking over at the chat. I missed most of the chat while I was teaching. So anyways, if you have any questions, just message me. Let me know how I can help you. I hope this was helpful for you. I hope you will practice some of the tools that we talked about for getting in control of your mind and emotions. And I hope that if you haven't been using oils to help you with that, that you will start. It will be a huge, huge blessing to you and your family. All right. I love you guys. Thanks for joining.